I'm excited to be able to spend some time with you today. And my topic is to try and prevent or minimize one of the most painful things that happens inside of network marketing. One of the most painful things that happens inside of network marketing is I'm going to take this out until Tony and Sarah come. Can I do that? Because this is kind of like chirping in my ear. I'll just put it here. One of the most painful things that happens inside of network marketing is this. You sign up, you get excited, you go to your family member, or you go to your best friend or a close friend, and expecting them to be excited for you and expecting them to maybe even join you. And they rain on your parade. If any of you have ever had a close friend or family member kind of act in a way that discouraged you or rejected you hard, if you've ever had that happen to you, put a number 5 into the comments. If you've ever had that happen to you, anybody ever had that? Lots of 5s, an awful lot. And, look, we're, it's an old principle that familiarity breeds contempt. I mean, if you're close enough with enough people, they know too many things about you and they're not going to give you a break. And also, the respect level may or may not be there. Maybe you've tried something in the past and struggled with it. Or maybe they've tried something and it didn't work out. And I remember going to family members and them literally rolling their eyes at me, just like, oh, please, you didn't join that. Oh my God. That's a scam. That's a pyramid. That's the worst thing you could ever do. You're going to fail. This is just awful. I remember one story I'll tell you quickly, and some of you might have heard this story, but one of the people that I idolized growing up was a gentleman who played football for the Minnesota Vikings. He was a middle linebacker. He was bigger than life. He taught me a little bit how to play linebacker when I played in high school. And he went to our church, and, we were family friends, and the kids would hang out together and the parents would hang out. And I remember deciding, you know what? He's an entrepreneur also, because I knew he had some entrepreneurial things. I'm going to call him up. Now, my dad and and his partner were my upline, and they were successful. I wasn't. And I'm like, all right. And I was selling real estate at the time when I first joined. And I remember sitting in this little real estate office, and I waited till everybody left, okay? Because I was super nervous. This guy was my hero. And I wrote out my little script, what I was going to say. I imagined how it was going to happen in my mind. That I was going to call his house. Somebody else was going to answer, hello. And then I'd say, well, is Wally there? And then they say, oh, just a second, Wally. This is all in my imagination. And he'd walk down the hall. He'd pick up the phone and say, Wally here. And I would say, hey, this is Eric Worre. And I would start on my little script, right? So if you ever been very nervous to call somebody? I would dial most of the numbers except the last one. And then I'd hang up. And then I dial again, and I hang up. This office is dead quiet. And I finally just said, well, you know what? Just do it. Just do it. What's the worst that could happen? So I call him. And remember what I had in my mind, right? He answered on the first ring. Hello? And as soon as he answered, my mind literally left my body. I mean, everything was off. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, hey, Wally, this is Eric Worre. I start talking about network marketing, and I'm start talking about, you'd be great at this and all this stuff. And everything I didn't want to say, I I was saying to my hero. Okay. And I sputtered along for about a minute. And he said, Eric, stop. Stop. I'm not interested. I said, yeah, but he said, Eric, and I'm laying there just going, what am I going to do? This is just awful. I hate this so much. And I laid there for about 5 minutes and I got mad and I decided to use this terrible experience and turn it around and use it for something powerful. So I got mad because I'm like, wait a minute. He knows how scary that was for me. He knows that he's my hero. He knows that I was facing my fear and trying to do something outside of my comfort zone. He did not have to dump on me like that. He didn't have to tell me I was going to be a failure in 90 days. He didn't have to do that. He could have encouraged me. He could have said, "Hey, I'm not interested," but still been encouraging. So I got mad. And I wrote on the top, I pulled I had a legal pad, and I wrote on the top of the legal pad, I wrote his name and I underlined it a couple times. And I decided he was going to be a reason why I wasn't going to quit. Okay. And here's the crazy thing. I wanted to quit in the first 90 days a bunch of times. And you know who kept me from quitting? My hero. He's the one that kept me from quitting because I couldn't let him be right. I couldn't let his opinion be reality. I couldn't let it happen. So I was just like, all right. And I'll tell you a little bit more. So he doesn't even know that he doesn't. And again, looking back, I don't know if he had a bad day. I don't know what was going on. If he had a bad practice or if the coach yelled at him or anything else, I don't know. I found out later that he had tried network marketing and the company went out of business and it was very embarrassing to him. That's what I found out later, but I didn't know that at the time. So I used that rejection as a reason why I needed to stay in the game to prove him wrong. And that was good fuel for me. Very good fuel for me. And I remember, it was probably 4 years later, something like that. I was at a wedding. He was at the same wedding. And I knew and he knew that I was making more money than he was. 4 or 5 years, probably 5 years later. I'm, that year I almost made $1 million and still in my 20s. And we were in a little reception line. And he said, Eric, I hear you're doing well. And I just said, yep, Wally, I am. I'm doing fantastic. You have a great day. And I kept moving. He never knew that he was one of the reasons for my success. Never even knew it. So all of that to say, I took a bad situation and I found a way to make it into a good situation. And you can do the same thing, right? My first suggestion to all of you is to turn any rejection that you've ever had into fuel. Write that into your notes. Turn rejection into fuel. Turn rejection into motivation. Turn embarrassment into reasons to move forward. Turn rejection into fuel. That's what I did. That's what you can do. Proving somebody else wrong is, I could have been crushed by my hero bashing my opportunity like that. but I decided not to be crushed. I decided to use that terrible situation and turn it into good for me. Now, all of that to say, that's the first tip for you today. Turn all of your rejection into fuel. And write this down also. There are no good experiences. There are no bad experiences. There are just learning experiences. There are no good experiences and no bad experiences, just learning experiences. You can tell the size of the person by the size of the problem that gets them down. No good, no bad, just learning. Do you learn more from success or failure? I sometimes think back, if Wally would have said yes and joined my business and went to the top and made everything easy for me, would I be here today? And I don't think I would. I needed to learn from that experience. I needed to use that fuel to get me through those 90 days when my doubts were at an all-time high. I needed it in order to get where I'm going. And some of you have needed the failure that you've had so far, the embarrassment, the humiliation that you had so far, to find out what you're made of, to show somebody else what you're capable of, to use their doubt in you as fuel. If you've ever used a failure experience or somebody else's doubt as a reason to do something bigger, put a number 2 into the comments. Let me see if you've ever done that. We all have that capability. They're defining moments in life, right? When I was laying on that ground in the carpet with my face mushed into the ground, that was a defining moment. Either you define the moment or the moment defines you. That moment, that picture could have been me just saying, I quit, I'm done. It could have been me, but I decided to define that moment. I decided to put a new meaning to that moment. Not that I'm going to be messed up by this one other person's opinion. I'm going to let them run my life. I'm going to use that as fuel. So some of you today are in a defining moment. You've looked at your success or failure and you're like, oh man, this is really tough for me to be able to go forward. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe it's not right for me. If you've ever questioned, am I right for network marketing? Should I quit? Put a number 5 into the comments. Be honest. Be honest. If you've ever thought about it, be honest. We all have. We all have, but it's what we do after that question that determines whether we're going to go to the top or not. It's what we do after that doubt that determines whether or not we're going to persist. I decided I was going to the top of the mountain, period, end of story. And other people's opinions were not necessary. Other people's approval was not necessary. Other people patting me on the back and encouraging me was not necessary. My upline supporting me was not necessary. The only thing that was necessary was my decision that I was going to the top, period. You're going to see me waving from the top of that mountain or dead on the side. I was not coming back. I burned the boats. I blew up the bridges. I got rid of all possible escape routes. And I moved forward. You know what I did? I actually, two things started to motivate me in a unique way. Because again, you define the situation defines you, right? Two things. One, when people would doubt me, or when people would laugh at me, or when people would ridicule me, or I would feel embarrassed. I'd feel that hot rush in my face. When I would feel that, I'm like, okay, fine, let's go. I'm not going to let this define me. That was one, right? Having a rejection experience. That was one. I learned to lean into that. Say, yes, give me more. Let's go. Come on, you can reject me better than that. Let's go. Second thing, this will sound weird. I started to be empowered when people quit my business. Weird, right? Isn't that strange? When people quit my business, I was empowered. You know why? Because I'm still here. They weren't strong enough. I am. They didn't have enough. It's not happening. And that's okay. And when they quit, at the beginning, when they quit, somebody in my team quit, I blame myself. I would feel terrible. Oh, maybe I'm not the right leader. Oh, people rejected me. And when people quit, weird, right? That's a defining moment when somebody quits. Either that moment defines you or you define the moment. I decided to define the moment. If this is good stuff so far, put a number 7 into the comments. Put a number 7. Let me see. All right, fantastic. I'm going to give you an approach that I wish, I'm not going back in time, but if you would like to get more support from your close friends and family, I'm going to give you a simple hot market approach for close friends and family that will get more support, more encouragement, more customers, and ultimately more people joining your business. You ready for that? All right, let's role play it. And I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to do that. And then we're going to bring in Tony and Sarah Zalecki, and they're going to be sharing 3 sure ways to supercharge your recruiting. Again, if somebody in your team needs to hear this, make sure you tag them in the comments. Make sure you smash the share button. If you're watching, wherever you're watching, this is on a lot of different platforms. Make sure you're doing that. And also make sure you're signed up for the challenge and you hit the share button, because those are 2 of the 3 things that you're going to need to do in order to be eligible for today's prizes that I'm going to tell you in another 40 minutes or so. Okay. Again, if you're on Zoom, there's no share button, but if you're on Facebook or whatever, there's a share button. If you're on Zoom and you haven't hit the share button, we'll make you eligible for the prizes anyway. Okay. You just got to make sure you're signed up. Number 1, for the challenge. And number 2, do what I asked you to do at the end of this. Okay. So I got you covered. All my Zoom friends. Got you covered. Now, here's the approach. Let's role play. Let's say I'm going to be talking to, let me pick somebody from the chat. Patty. Let's say I'm talking, Patty, let's say is, Patty's actually my mom, but let's say I'm going to go talk to my mom. Okay. And first thing you need to do, step 1, and I want you to put this in the comments. There's a step-by-step approach for hot market. Number 1, you need to compliment them. Compliment them. Okay. You got to say, hey, Patty, one thing I love about you is I know that you've got my back all the time. You're entrepreneurial. You think out of the box. You always have a big vision. You got enthusiasm other people don't have. I just respect that about you. Let's say Patty's my sister or whatever. Patty's my friend. Compliment, number 1. Okay. Number 2, let them know that their support is important to you. And one thing I appreciate about you, Patty, is you support me. Might not always agree with me. You might not do the same things that I do, but I know that you support me like I support you. So compliment number 1, comment about how supportive they are. And even if somebody is rarely supportive, compliment them on how much you appreciate the times when they've supported you. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3, tell them about your business and quickly disqualify them as a prospect. to join your business. Tell them about your business and quickly disqualify them. Here's what I'd say. Patty, I've joined a business, ABC business, that sells these products and these services, and it's an entrepreneurial thing, and I'm really excited about it. But don't worry, you're not a prospect. You're not a prospect. And you could disqualify them for even being good at this if you want to. I've done this with some of them. Don't worry. I don't consider you a prospect at all. I'm not trying to sign you up. Matter of fact, I don't think this is a thing for you. I'm just excited about it. Okay? Now, what does this do? Imagine if I did that with Wally. Hey, Wally, I'm involved in this business. Wally, I just thought, how you played on Sunday was unbelievable. And that sack that you got was just spectacular. And I just want to thank you for how you've been a mentor to me. And, your support has meant the world to me, teaching me how to play football and teaching me how to do all these different things. And I got involved in this business, but don't worry. I'm not trying to recruit you. I would never try to do that. That's silly. You're a professional football player. Don't worry. Disqualify. Very important that you disqualify them from the business. Okay? You feeling how this is going to go already? Point number four. Ask them for support. Ask them for support. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say I've got this is my product, and it costs $80, okay? I would go to Patty and say, Patty, like I said, you're not a prospect at all. This is my business. This is something that I'm doing, and I'm excited about it. And when I'm excited, I want my family to know. I want my friends to know. And here's the main product that the company offers, and it costs $80 for a 30-day supply of this. And let me tell you something. Here's what would mean the world to me is if you would support me by being my customer one time. See, if you ask them to be your customer for forever, they're not going to be interested. But if you called me and said, Eric, it would mean the world to me if you would be my customer, $80 one time. I'm trying to get X number of customers in my first 30 days, and it would accomplish two things for me. One, you being my customer it would thrill me. It would make me excited. It would make me feel supported. Like if you open up a restaurant, I'd be there day one. I would be there for the grand opening. So I would hope that you'd support me and you would be my customer one time, just one time. And if you would use the product and give me your feedback on it, I would be forever grateful. $80. Now I know if you're approaching me with this, I know that my whole commitment's $80. And I've supported my friend, I've supported my family member, and I'm off the hook. Right? So when you do this with somebody, $80, whatever, you do that. Guess what? It's a little sidebar here. Guess what most of marketing is? Almost all of marketing is getting somebody to try something. That's what almost all of marketing is, getting somebody to try something. So if they try this, right, and they like it, here's what I would say to the person. If you be my customer for 1 month, it would mean the world to me. $80. You in or you out. And don't worry, you're not signing up forever. And don't worry, I'm not going to bother you for forever. If you love it and you want to continue, I'll show you how you can continue as a customer. If you don't, I'm not going to bother you. I'm just going to say thank you for your support, and I hope you would encourage me on my entrepreneurial journey. That would just be fabulous. right? If they like it, they can continue. If they don't like it, they can stop. No problem. Piece of cake. So that's a hot market approach. If I use that with a friend, if somebody comes to you with that approach and you don't support them by being a customer for 1 month, you're not a good friend. You're not. If somebody makes that ask, you're not. You're not a supportive family member. You're not even a nice family member. Really. You know how many sets of Costco knives I've bought over the course of my life from nieces and nephews that came over and gave me the pitch? Tons. So this simple hot market approach, first of all, if you have a friend or family member that you have not approached, use this and teach this to your teams. Second, you can go back to people you've talked to before, and maybe you just gave them the hard pitch and they shut you down. I'm not interested, click, hang up. They shut you down. You can go back to them. Let me tell you how you go back to them. Look, I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable. I was just excited. I joined this thing. I was excited. Don't worry, I'm not trying to recruit you. I'm not. I was just excited. And I had a clumsy approach to telling you about it. And that probably put a bad taste in your mouth. But look, I appreciate this about you. Compliment. The fact that you support me, I'm in that uncomfortable situation. I'm not trying to sign you up in the business, and I won't. But it still would mean the world to me if you'd be my customer one time. I would be your customer of something that you had. I would go to your restaurant if you opened it. If you had a dry cleaning service next to some other random dry cleaning service, I would use yours. I would love it if you'd use mine one time. And I won't bother you about it again, but you'll be able to see what I'm excited about and try the products. And after that, literally, I'm not going to bother you. Would you do that for me? And a ton of them will. Okay? Now, if it's with services, this works better with physical products or services that can be monthly or short-term. Longer-term memberships, it's a little bit more challenging. You would ask them to be a member as long as they're comfortable being a member. Try the service. If they don't like the service, then feel free to cancel. Something like that. Okay? So I hope that helps. I'm going to give you a challenge. I'll give you what part of the challenge, and then you're going to hear from Tony and Sarah Zalecki in 1 minute. Part of the challenge is this. For prizes today, I'm going to give you a challenge. I want you to use this hot market approach with one close friend or family member, just one close friend or family member. And I want you to go live into the 7-day, the GoPro 7-day recruiting challenge Facebook page. I want you to go live inside the GoPro 7-day recruiting challenge Facebook page and tell the story of what happened. Just try it and go live inside the page and tell the story. And we're going to pick from people who have joined the challenge, number one, and have gone live, number two, inside of the Facebook page. And we're going to use that to pick the prizes. We have something like 15, 17 prizes. Okay? Do that one time. If you've already done it, go tell the story of what happened. If you've already done it, not your page, but our page. And do we have a hashtag for that? We probably don't. Which hashtag can we create? Let's think of one real quick. Hot Market Challenge. Just put a hashtag, Hot Market Challenge. Hot Market Challenge. Okay? Hot Market Challenge. Post it wherever. And we will choose winners from that group. Okay? All right, who's ready for Tony and Sarah Zalecki? Oh, first of all, who accepts the challenge? If you accept the challenge, put a number 3 into the comments. If you accept the challenge, put a number 3. Put a number 3. Let me see. 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 You're gonna love this approach. You're gonna love it. 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 Recap what I wanted to share with you. 1, turn your adversity into fuel. And 2, the hot market challenge is going to change everything when it comes to your close friends and family. Even if you feel like you've maybe ruined it and you screwed it up with your enthusiasm, it's going to help a lot of people, including the new people that you sign up with their hot market. All right. So we got Tony and Sarah Zalecki connecting from, hold on, I got to put the ear thing in. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you? So wait,
awesome.
you go, are you in Cabo?
We are in Cabo, yeah.
So you're in Cabo, and that's the view you give us, really?
Well,
you could be anywhere. I know you need the sunlight or whatever.
we do.
Yeah. So
well, do you want a quick shot of the view,
All
Eric?
right, we'll do.
Yes. Give us a shot of the view. Come on.
Yeah. This is worth it.
There we go. What place is that?
We're at the Hard Rock.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. See, this is some of the stuff that network marketing can provide for you is trips to fun places like that. So I'm going to pass. I took too much time. Sorry, I cut into your guys' time, but I'm going to pass it back to you.
It's amazing.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it back to you guys. These guys have recruited more than 600 people. They've got a huge organization around the world. They're a member of the $1 Million Hall of Fame, earning over $1 million a year in network marketing. They've cracked the code, and they can teach you how to do the same thing. So Sarah and Tony Zalecki, why don't you guys take it from here?
Oh my gosh, awesome. Thank you so much, Eric, for having us on today. And hi, GoPro community. It is so good to be with you guys. And Eric, I know that you're leaving, but I think we should do like hashtag Wally. Like that actually, that would be a good hashtag for the challenge. And we're just so excited to spend a couple minutes with you guys and talk to you about recruiting and just so much good stuff. And one thing that I'd love to piggyback on, actually, there's 2 things that Eric talked about that I just, oh my gosh, you guys, what incredible knowledge he just dropped and gave us, and just really just applicable stuff that we can use right away. So one of the things that I do too is something that's called try, compare, feedback. Okay, so for those of you that are taking notes, try, compare, feedback. Feel free to put that in the chat. And so that's what we use when it comes to acquiring customers. Right. So whether it be product or service based, we teach people to try, compare, feedback. Right. And so when we're brand new, it's kind of like, if you imagine like your business as a big apple tree, it's like the low hanging fruit. Those are the people that you can go to and connect. And they're the ones like that Eric talked about, is asking for that favor. Right. So for me, the verbiage that I use when I was brand new in the business is I would ask them, like, listen, I would love for you to try, right? And depending on your product line, some of you guys have got more than one product line. Some of you guys just have one service, like in the business that we're in. So we have more than one product. So I would say, hey, you know what? Would you be willing to try just one thing, right? And would you be willing to compare that with something you're already currently using, right? And it's like, why, if you think about why do we buy other things, the reason that we buy other things in our life is we compare them with something else that we're already currently using, right? So I say, hey, would you be willing to try, right? Would you be willing to compare that with something you're already currently using? And would you be willing to give me your feedback? Feedback of how simple was it to order it online? What was it like when you got it? What was your experience when you tried it, right? Like I want all of that. And so that has helped us so much with helping people get their first, 1, 5, 10, 20 customers, is that really simple formula that we call try, compare, feedback, right? I love that. So when I first got started in the business, I was a kid. I was 21 years old. It was challenging for me because, a lot of us, we heard about how Eric talked about being the hunter. I was the hunter. I didn't know that I was a hunter, but I was straight up the hunter. I might as well have been wearing camouflage like I was hunting. And And I couldn't figure out why was I repelling so many people from me, right? Why were people running for the hills? It was because I definitely was that hunter. And, there were many a times that I wanted to quit this business. I wanted to throw the towel in. And like Eric talked about, really using the rejection and maybe some of that, hard times that we go through as fuel in our business. And one thing that I did that really, really helped me, guys, I actually wrote on an index card these simple words. I gave up my dreams because ... And whatever that was afterwards, like it helped me through the challenging times, right? Imagine if Eric would have had that, had that card, right? That whole situation with Wally. What if he read and said, I gave up my dreams because Wally told me no, right? Or such and such quit my business, or the product was, shipping late, or, whatever it may be, right? All these kind of like challenges that we have in our business, like that helped me so much, where when I read out loud the reason that I wanted to throw the towel in with those words, oh my goodness, it sounded so silly to me. I was like, Sarah, you can't quit on your dreams because of that, right? And so I still have today that index card that says, I gave up my dreams because, and then it was whatever the reason was that I wanted to throw the towel in, right? And that, oh my gosh, that has served me so well over the years. And Eric was talking about, hot market, right? I was a hot market. I was somebody that was put on someone's list, but I was not someone that was put on somebody's list right away. I was someone that, my boyfriend at the time, he had been involved in network marketing, but for whatever reason, he did not think Sarah Zalecki was a good fit, or I don't know, or he was afraid to talk to me, or I don't really know to this day. It took him so long to talk to me about the business, but it was probably about a good 4 or 5 months. And finally, his sponsor was saying, "Hey, I know you have a girlfriend. Like, you should talk to her. You should maybe introduce her to the business." And finally he did. And I'll tell you, like, I wasn't the skeptical person, right? Sometimes we have people on our list that, it's like, oh, it's one of those deals, or, got to show me proof, or, whatever reason, right? And I wasn't. I was the girl, like, I got it. And the thing that I want to share with you is that every single one of us have a Sarah Zalecki in our life, whether it's somebody that's not on your list yet, that should be, right? Maybe that's the first question that we say, is that, are there people that are on your list that for one reason or another, where we think that they wouldn't be interested, right? Are there Sarah Zaleckis that are not on your list? But then also there probably are Sarah Zaleckis that are on your list that you haven't talked to, or Sarah Zaleckis that you're connected with on social media. And so just understanding, like, I think about, oh my goodness, like, what if he would have introduced me, 4 months prior, right? And, thank goodness, like, it was only 4 months. Now fast forward, 20 years later, here we are. But I think that that's so important to really think about, oh my gosh, like, when you are doing your list, I saw a lot of you guys in the challenge, you guys were posting that you already have some of you guys really took it serious with the, kind of what I call the Project 100. We're like, hey, I'm going to, work this week and really focus on reaching out to 100 people. A lot of you guys have that list. Like, it's just so cool to see that, because we know, and Tony will share a little bit about our story, and then we want to give you guys some really cool things that'll be fun to apply today. But we just know the importance of making those connections with people, but in a very, very, very quick way.
Yeah, so we have 3 strategies for you that you're going to be able to get recruits today. When we leave this, you're going to be able to go sign up one person. Some of you might get a couple people in before we even do tomorrow's recruiting challenge. But here's the story I want to tell you. So when I saw the business, I was 19 years old, and my sister had got started that morning. And that afternoon, she called me and she said, Tony, I know you've been looking for something. You got to make some money. I know college isn't going great for you. I have something. I found something. You got to be here tonight, 7:00. Bring mom. You got to come see this. And that's all she told me. And one thing I heard in her voice, I heard urgency. I heard excitement. She was moving fast. I could tell she was making a lot of calls and she had a lot going on. And she's like, don't be late because I'm working with Lori and I want to make a good impression. So be here about 10, 15 minutes early. And I remember me and Mom, we got in the car and we got to the presentation. And I remember walking in the room, and what Deanna did, my sister, so well was she didn't barf on me and try to explain everything to me. She didn't try to sell me on the spot. She didn't try to like give me all this information. All she did was get me in the room, and then she let me see her expert and really get the picture from Lori. And Lori was a bartender waitress, and now she was driving a Mercedes. She had a house on Lake Michigan. I mean, it was absolutely a great story. And I just remember meeting with Lori, seeing the presentation, and I, nudged my mom and I said, Mom, I'm in, I'm doing this, and you're doing it with me. And we were in. And one thing that Deanna, my sister, did was that she had me on her list. She had me see it right away, and she got out of the way and she let all the third party do the work. Mm-hmm. And she did that so well. And I got started that night. So she showed me the business in a professional, interesting, compelling way right away. Mm-hmm. And think about the people, you might be new to network marketing. You might just got started in network marketing. You might just be putting your list together. But here's the thing when you're putting your list together is that you want to show the business the right way. And it's easy to show it the wrong way. And I think a lot of us have done that before in the past. But if you can show the business the right way, keep in your mind, I just want them to see it and they can make their decision, whether they join or not, whatever. I don't really care. I'm not emotionally attached. They get started great. If they don't, no big deal. I just want to make sure they see it in a nice, exciting, way that they go, okay, I like this. Either A, I'm in, B, I'm going to give you referrals, or C, I've got some people that, I want to show this to. So that's the thing with your list when you're getting started. Now, one of the things we want to talk about is a formula Sarah and I use every single day. And this formula is something we don't miss a day with. And it has helped us recruit, as Eric talked about, over 600 people in our network marketing career.
So it is simple, guys. I know a lot of you guys are on here because we're all on social media, right? Nowadays, more than ever. Most of our businesses, I'm willing to bet, are pretty much online. We might have some face-to-face here and there. But it's really about, how do I actually build my business through social media? So we want to give you guys some tips. That. And we actually have a formula we call 3, right? We're going to go through it with you guys. And it's very simple. If you're brand new, this is something that is not overwhelming. If you've been around a while, this is something you definitely can teach to your team. But we do this every day. Okay. So the 3 things that we focus on when it comes to recruiting every day is the first 3 is to make 3 new friends. 3 new friends on social media, whether it be on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whether you are connecting with people in Facebook groups, maybe it's people that have been following you. Maybe you're following, different pages that you love. Maybe you're following I find a lot of new friends through, things that I like, right? Maybe I have favorite authors that I like their pages, or motivational speakers, or hobbies, or what have you. I find a way to kind of find people that are just like me, right? That kind of like the same things that I do. So every day we focus on making 3 new friends. Okay. And then the second 3 is 3 comments. So we focus on commenting on 3 different posts every day. And it's, making those connections, those interactions. And then from that, the last 3 is inviting 3 people to look at our business. So those 3 things are things that we do no matter what. Every single day, everyone on our team does the same thing. We keep it super, super simple on social media. But I do think that, I look at, the social media piece. I think sometimes people feel that it's so different than meeting someone face to face, or maybe, leaving someone a voice message. And I tell people, the way that we interact on social media, it's another way to make interaction. Yeah. It's no different. And so for us, I think it's really important that, we focus on what I call kind of making the interactions with people and getting to know people. Right. And, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, what's really important is that, you got to stop asking people if they're interested in your business, if they're interested in joining you. Stop using interested. Somebody put in the chat, open. Are you open to taking a look at what I'm doing? Are you open to coming into a Facebook group and seeing what's happening inside my business right now? Are you opening to see a couple stories that are happening right now that are absolutely creating a lot of new business, new recruits, and crazy momentum? Are you open? Because here's the thing about people. People don't want to be closed-minded. And when you use the word open, people are like, yeah, I'm open. Yeah, I want to hear more. Yeah, I'm open. Show me more. But when you use interested, it just doesn't work. It's a clunky word. So get that out of your vocabulary. Now, here's another thing. I want to give you this tip. I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, how many friends do you have on Facebook? And he said, I don't know, 1,000, something like that. I said, great. I said, how many of those friends on Facebook have you actually talked to about your business, with those friends? And they were like, probably like 50. So I'm going to ask you the same question. That's like 5%. Most people are between 5 and 10% if I ask this question. I mean, if I ask you the question right now on your Facebook, how many friends you have, how many people have you talked to about your business on your friends list? That number would be between 5 and 10%. What does that mean? That means you have a whole lot of people, right, that you can start conversations with, like Eric talked about yesterday, and you can start asking them, are you open to looking at my online business? Are you open to seeing more of what I'm doing, how you can make money online, how we do our system? Are you open to coming to this Facebook group? Because here's another thing. People that are in that friend list of yours that have what I call social equity. That means they do stories, they do reels, they do lives, right? They make a post and they have a little bit of influence and they catch engagement, right? And they might do TikToks. But here is the thing. You need to get into their inbox and say, hey, would you be open? I know you got a little bit of social equity. I just watching what you're doing, like Eric talked about. You're amazing at social. Can I show you how you can make some money with your stories? Can I show you how you can make some money with your reels? I mean, I just saw the live you did last week. Unbelievable. The content, the value you poured into people was great. Can I show you how to add a call to action after one of those and create, some success and some people asking you about maybe the business or how I can make some money, how I can grow? I mean, these are things that are right in front of us every single day. And here's the awesome part about this. Most people don't have people asking them these questions. Most people are like, tell me more. Yes, I'm open. Show me how I can do reels and make money. Do you know that there's over 400 million people a day doing reels right now on Instagram? I mean, think about that bucket. Think about that world. I mean, it's unbelievable what's going on right now. But you have a script, Sarah, that you like using when it comes to asking people if, they're open to seeing this and then inviting them in and getting them started right away.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want to share is that I know that for some of you guys that are newer, you're probably like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing reels yet, or I haven't got the courage up to do a TikTok or whatever, baby. The beautiful part about this business is that someone shared with me a long time ago. They said, Sarah, you know what? All you have to be in this business is a talent scout. Can you be that? Can you find people that are better than you in different areas and introduce them, like Tony said, right? In an interesting, compelling way. And if they see what you see, or if they get excited, right, they can enroll in the business and they're off the races, right? And so I've really taken that to heart, where I found people that are better than me in different things. So you might be someone that's like, well, gosh, I'm just kind of like learning this whole area of social media and what have you. The great thing is that you can go out and find people that are really incredible at social media and introduce them to the business, use your third-party expert, right, to help answer any questions and then get them enrolled. I think that's what's so beautiful about network marketing, is that you can introduce people that have different skill sets than what you have, right? And so I just love that whole thing of like, I always just focused on, Sarah, remember, you're just a talent scout, right? You're just a talent scout, like focusing on those things. And so, like Tony had shared, I do have a really simple script. I mean, if you are newer, if you are someone that, is either redoing your list or just putting your list together, I would say probably the first 25, maybe even 50 people, kind of depends on like how close you are with some of those people. you kind of know what makes them tick, right? You have those conversations with them, whether it be on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, where you're having these conversations where they talk about things, right? Maybe they talk to you about, how they wish they could spend more time with their family, or they're tired of paying someone else to raise their kids, or the cost of something is, super expensive, or they're tired of their car breaking down, or they wish they could go on a vacation, but it's been forever because they can't afford to, or even product wise, right? They're tired of feeling tired all the time, or they don't have any energy, or whatever it may be, right? And so it's being that person that is an incredible listener, where you listen inside of your conversations that you have with people. Most people in your everyday conversations, they will tell you exactly what they need. And so it's being that, I don't know, she was tired of missing her kids' soccer games because she had to work late, or she had to work overtime because she needed extra money to pay whatever bill or what have you. My conversation with her is very simple. The next time her and I are speaking, right, and her and I are talking, I'm like, hey, Susie, how you talked about how you need, you're tired of missing all the games, but you're doing it because you have to make extra money, right? And a lot of times, guys, that's when I'll just go, hey, you know what? I just started doing something on social media. I'm having a blast making some extra money. I don't know if you're open, but if you are, I would love to have a conversation with you about it, right? I might even say something like, hey, Susie, you know what? You know how you do? I actually just started doing something part-time that I think could actually help you, or give you the opportunity to spend more time at those soccer games and not missing those, right? Are you open to, to talking about it, right? So for me, a lot of times that I love
So
that.
Sarah,
Go ahead.
one thing, I just want to jump in real quick. First of all, this is great. Secondly, can you share those scripts again slowly?
Yeah.
So people can write them down.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to tell you, I was going to tell everybody later, we were going to have the replays of each day disappear every day, available for 24 hours. But we decided that we're going to have the replays of this entire challenge up all the way through the end of the challenge. Okay, so you can watch this for the full. If you need to go get caught up, don't worry about it. Don't stress. We're not going to penalize you if you have to go. You had to get caught up or something. We want you to get all the information, so it'll be available for the whole challenge, probably plus a couple days after that. Okay, so I see all the comments. Everybody's like, "Oh, phew." Yeah, we don't want you to be stressed. We want this to help you reduce some stress.
Yeah.
So can you please, I'll throw it back to you, but please give both of those scripts, because you had a couple versions of them, slowly, so everybody can write it down, because it's golden. It's really, really awesome. So give it to them so they can capture it in their notes.
Okay, awesome. So I think the one thing I want you guys to understand is just the more of an authentic conversation you can have with people, the better, right? I mean, if, we all know, like the saying, if people like you and trust you, they're going to do business with you. So I feel that when you are inviting and you do use that script, I feel that I'm coming from a place that's authentic. So I don't feel like my script is not real
or
can, right? I don't know how you would say that in
it's
another
a real
language,
conversation, authentic, coming from your heart script.
Yes, exactly. So, I guess one thing that I would do is, with your list is maybe what are those, what we call needs, right? What are those things? And you want to just invite, right? Being kind of what I call the solution, right? And being able to offer that solution to them. Because if they feel that what you have can meet that need, right? If they feel that you have a solution, they will listen. They will take a look at the link. They will get in that Facebook group, right? So I feel that, that script, again, if telling Susie, right, very simply, Susie, I know that, based on our, past conversations, you've talked about how you wanted to spend more time with your kids, but you couldn't, right? Because you needed to work overtime or what have you. Well, I just started, working part-time with an online business, right? Or I just started working part-time, having fun, making some extra money. And I thought that this potentially, right, could help you, spend more time with your kids. And I really believe, it's just kind of how I'm wired, that every single one of us, no matter what company that we're in, we have so many great leverage if they need a safety net, if they're looking for a plan B, if, based on product, if they want to, lose weight and, create vitality, or, if it's service-based, whatever, right? But I really feel that, we are a solution to anything. And so I think too that posture, right, of, like Eric talks about why it's so important to have belief in your product or service, that's going to help you so much with inviting, because then your posture is strong. And if your posture is strong, you don't have to have the perfect invite, but your invite will be strong, right? I just think that thing is so important. People on social media, right? As I'm asking questions to get to know them, I still use that same invitation to have them take a look at the business. And for me, it's very authentic. And I feel like my conversations don't ever go squirrely or sideways, because I'm really coming from a place of being that solution to people. And I think, Eric, too, that's what really helped me go from being that hunter, right? I'm not that hunter anymore.
Yep.
And I think that has really helped us.
Yeah, I think, Eric, too, we got to give him this, because this is huge. So when we're finished here, we want everyone to take a selfie, okay? And you're all going to post this on your Facebook page. Now, you're going to post exactly what I'm going to say. So I'm going to say it really slow, and you can get it down. So you're going to post, so you're going to take a selfie of yourself, and then you're going to post, so, ... I did a thing, ! I'm excited and a little nervous, but I can't wait to tell you all about it.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. So that selfie can be a surprise look. It can be a happy look. It can be whatever, right? But it's what we call a great curiosity post, where it could be, when you say, I did a thing, maybe you just started your business, or I did a thing and it means you're relaunching your business. It could be like, I did a thing and you got a great result from a product, right, or service. And what is great about this post is it creates great engagement right away on your social media, right? So I tell people, whoever likes it, whoever loves it, whoever comments on it, any of those three things basically gives you permission to jump in Messenger and start a conversation with them, right? And so, again, guys,
let me jump in. So okay. I'm going to say it again. So ... I did a thing.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. And everybody put this into the comments wherever you're watching. YouTube, Facebook, Zoom. I did a thing. I'm excited and a little nervous, but I can't wait to tell you all about it. Exclamation point. And just leave it. And leave it with a cool selfie. Okay.
Yep.
So, so I would love to see those too.
Okay.
Those also. We got the Hot Market Challenge, but we got the selfie challenge, but I don't really want to call it a selfie challenge when they're posting it. You know what I mean? I don't want them to put any hashtag in it, really. Just take a copy of whatever it is that you post, the selfie that you use, and put that inside of the challenge group on Facebook, so we can all see the cool challenges, the cool selfies that you decided to use. I love that. I did a thing. Yeah. Did a thing. Yeah. The did a thing. One
Yeah.
word, did a thing. So are that all that, did we get to all of your,
We just
your
got,
three?
we just, Sarah, really talk about, so here's the key to this, Eric. When they start commenting, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to do the selfie. You're going to put exactly what we just put, Eric said to put, and you're going to start getting engagement. And what's going to happen is you're going to go, holy,
You know, you're excited, you're doing something part-time. You know, like I know that I love to talk about how, you know, that it's a simple system that anyone can do, right? Like, again, it's just you know, I love this post because it just creates so much curiosity with people, and it allows you to start so many conversations, right? Which we know it's about those conversations.
the bigger messenger, and you start telling them the 2-3 things you're really excited about in your business, and keep it short. Don't go into long messages. I like using voice memo. Why? Because I like people to hear I don't like typing things out. I like people to hear my voice, hear my excitement. They know that I'm having fun. I got a good thing going. It'd be great to work with Tony. Can you tell me more information? And then I move them into a quick 3 to 5 minute link to watch, or I put them into a Facebook group, because here is the key to this. You want them to hear the information. So if you tag them to a video or you have them watch a link, if they're in a Facebook group, they get 2 things after they go through the information. They see it the right way, but then they see the testimonials in the Facebook group. And that is powerful. And here's the third thing. They see the community and they see the culture and they see what is happening inside this group, inside this team, because you're asking them to join you. You're asking them to get started and be a part of the team, be a part of the group. And that right there will get someone over the line today.
Love it, love it, love it. I'm taking notes as fast as I can write. Hope everybody else is doing the same thing. Who's gotten value from Tony and Sarah Zalecki? Put a number 5 into the comments. Let me see. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Lots of 5s. Bike. The chat can't even keep up. They're going so fast. It's just going huge links. We're going to go backstage in just a moment, Tony and Sarah.